Oh, okay.
And we're live.
I can feel it coming back again.
What is that?
That's a guy named Bo Laughter who did a techno cover of Lightning Crash.
Good old bow laughter.
Oh, bow
I can
laughter.
feel it.
Yeah, because that song needs like a
I
dancing.
can feel placenta, 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 placenta. Falls to the floor.
Plus that's off the floor. No. I mean, yes. Some people
Everybody
work on that.
Get the
scream!
placenta on the floor. Get the placenta on the floor.
Have we moved into live covers?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've run out of live singles.
Now we just need to get live covers.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
Would form a band, do that. So.
A live tribute band.
Feel it.
All of my machines are sounding off at once.
Good machines, bad machines?
What?
The good machines or the bad machines?
the machines that hunt me.
Terminator 4.
We are all
The good
animes
machines
now.
or the bad machines.
I am a machine.
I'm good though. Everybody.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Oh, it is February the 27th.
Look, it's Brayton.
Oh,
Hey,
hey.
Braden.
Hey, Cole. Hey, Gary.
Hey.
Thanks for joining us.
It's no problem.
People had to refresh, so they missed.
Oh.
That bums me out. Like,
You work so hard.
again. I know. It took like 3 searches.
You made them that gift. That delightful gift. I need to make this light on my face less hot. One moment.
When you search for Lightning Crashes covers, you won't be surprised to find out how many guys there are just like kind of queefing into an acoustic guitar.
Oh,
Like it is.
search for anything cover. It's a guy queefing into an acoustic guitar.
Yeah, it is.
That's
literally
a good dude queef.
When bro queef. .com. One of my that's one of my least favorite music setups. Is just a guy with an acoustic guitar. I don't care for it.
Is it because you lived in DeKalb and went to parties?
It could have been any college town, but yeah, it's probably
Yeah.
because I went to parties at a college level.
What?
Right.
Party at a college level.
So that probably did it though.
Yeah.
A lot of guys just like, hey man, I've been working on something I like to call sound shapes, and then they whip out a Git box. It's just like, oh fuck you.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what really lined up
It's like
this party where people are having individual conversations? If we all did a sing along of Bell and Sebastian songs.
Yeah, it was always a guy who came into the party with an acoustic guitar and like would talk to the person at the party and be like, I just really got to play something.
Yeah, is it
And it's
cool?
like, no, you don't.
Is it cool?
You have a house for that. Like, you
I
have
might
your own
allow you to do
space.
it, but it's not cool.
I'm just picking. We can't stop you from starting it. We can stop you from continuing it.
Yeah.
I just picture that guy like walking into the party, like, "Hey guys, hey, I'm just setting it in the corner, and then just looking at it."
Yeah. Every once in a while, just waiting for the time to strike.
No, I mean, he brought his own guitar. That's that
Yeah.
guy. Because he knew what he had to do. He just couldn't help it. He's got to play 40 Ounces of Freedom. He just doesn't have a choice.
Out.
Is that a band name? 40 Ounces of Freedom?
No, it's a Sublime song.
Okay. Ugh.
Yeah.
I think it's 40 Ounces to Freedom.
It's what I like to call sub-sublime. It's like on the lower end of that band, sub-sublime.
Which is, yeah.
It's no Santorium.
Yeah.
That would have been a pretty good sketch idea if we could commit to the musical style. I cannot brook any Sublime.
Is that, I mean, that's the mashup of Sweet Home Sanitarium and Santeria, right?
Sweet Home Sanitarium.
Ah, man,
I believe
what's
that's
your
a
guys?
Metallica song, right?
It is. It totally is.
Okay, good.
What's your guys' feeling on an acoustic guitar at a bonfire?
I think if you're in Are we talking about 8 to 12 people? I think that's acceptable.
Yeah.
How about 7 or 13, Brayton?
I don't know. 7's too intimate. 13's too many.
Unlucky.
No
Yeah.
party as a 13th person.
Yeah, I don't know. Kindling. I don't know. Like, it's fine, but just that there is something very presumptuous and shitty about bringing an acoustic guitar to an event. Like, hey
Yeah.
guys, can I be the center of attention for a little bit? Like, is that
Yeah.
cool with you guys? Like, is it cool if I turn this fun group event into being about me for a little bit? Is that cool?
Yeah, and I think it's a different situation where you're just kind of noodling for a while and you're just kind of like playing background noodles. I think that's an acceptable thing as opposed to like, all right, everybody, let's all play this Cat Stevens song.
Yeah, it goes like this: G D C G D C. Okay, let's go. You know. And then,
Ooh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. Nobody else is going to do the do-do-do-do-do-do-dos? Okay.
No.
I thought you were going to.
That's the problem with most of this stuff is like most of the songs that kind of person plays are not accessible.
I don't know if that's the problem with it, Cole.
It's not the problem. It's one of the
it is a problem though. I feel like usually people aren't going in and playing like here's like a like a Yes B side. I think most people are playing stuff that people know, but it's not. I don't know. Like it's really for me. It's just really about like I'm going to turn this thing a group thing about me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Like,
I misspoke and said it is the problem. It is one of the problems. If they were inviting, if they were inviting participation.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And it feels bad to be the person who doesn't like get it or does just like I don't want to sing in public. I was just wanting to talk to my buddy and eat hot dogs at this bonfire.
Yeah.
Like there are performances. You can find a place for that.
Mm-hmm.
They're like open mics. It's a thing.
Yep.
The guy who brings the acoustic guitar to the party is the subtext. The not even overt subtext is, "Please touch my penis."
Yeah. Yeah. Or not even subtext.
Yeah, man, it's
It's
the text. It's super text.
Yeah. It's written on the guitar. It's like Epiphone, touch my penis.
Super live. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to play this song called "Creep," and it's about
Yes.
how much I'm in love with you.
Yeah.
Girl who's touched by this.
And before
Whoever any of you.
Before I begin creep, yes, I can hit the note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's whoever reacts to this is the person I'm gonna try to sleep with. I don't care who it is. Here we go.
Think you're kinda neat.
There's some-
tells me I'm a creep. Different one?
There's something the same way that like guys with acoustic guitars turn the entire world into their open mic is kind of how like certain people turn an entire like pool into their toilet. Like or like turning like the world into your urinal. Like you're just kind of bringing this function that is tied to a space everywhere you go.
Mm-hmm.
That is like inflicts on the people around you.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't want to step in human pee, and I don't want to hear a song unless I go somewhere to hear a song. You ever, Brayden, you ever be on the bus when somebody's got a guitar?
Oh, yeah. I've been on the bus when someone's had a ukulele because that's the town that we live in.
Yeah.
You signed up for that. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The worst
bummer,
was, I think I've told you guys about the time that I was on the bus and some guy on a unicycle rolled in and was making balloon animals, and I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, fuck you. I'm gonna stick a branch between your spokes.
Yeah.
Like,
you broomed.
And all these people kept turning and were watching him, and I'm like, I just wanted to walk up and like slap their hands and be like, no, you're
that's
doing
what
what
you
he wants.
yeah. That's how I feel about the unicycle guy with the bagpipes.
Mm-hmm.
Don't look at him.
I just like what I want is for you guys to carry around like in your backpacks like elaborate fold out like Chinese room separation screens. So when somebody starts making a scene, you're just kind of like just erect.
No.
Set a partition away the pain.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm sorry, you're not allowed to do this. People aren't allowed to watch it.
Partition away the pain.
Mm-hmm. It's Peach's less popular song.
Yeah.
That's the acoustic cover that some asshole played.
After you. Well, listen, I want to tone this down a little notch.
I don't want to be so blatant about asking someone to touch my penis by singing "Fuck the Pain Away" instead.
Yeah. strumming on my guitar like some people like me.
Yeah. Because I'm not into nipple play, so I don't want people to think that I am.
Right, right.
Oh, that's a good thing to know. I'll keep that in mind. Yeah.
Does this not come up
Get
with
you a new birthday present.
Yeah.
Yes.
It
Does this
comes
not
up with
come
an
up with
application.
like Brayton Pillow Talk yet? Is this not?
Not yet. Brayton Pillow Talk with Brayton Cameron.
Yeah.
I mean, we could roll into that segment. Like, there's nothing stopping us from rolling into Pillow Talk with Brayton Cameron.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in the Slack, they're talking about, what about some Goo Goo Dolls at a party? Like, okay, I'm going to take 10 minutes to retune this guitar. Have fun.
Yeah.
Double M.
Isn't like the subtext of Slide about abortion? Like, isn't that?
Maybe?
Excuse me?
Maybe not a party song.
Why don't you slide? Do you think that's about an abortion?
No, isn't that the case? I don't know.
I think maybe you're
slide
thinking
on down to the clinic and hit it up.
Maybe I'm just thinking of that Clickhole article I read.
I think that's my guess. Is the video for Slide worth teenage dirtbagging? Because it's a real '90s piece of shit song.
I know the video for Iris is pretty good because it's like that tie-in to that like City of Angels movie or whatever that movie is called. So that could be pretty good.
Yeah.
I think that,
you know.
No, go ahead.
That would just be a really good Garrity as well.
With Iris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The video for Broadway is actually the better one to do, I think. That one has more bug nuts crazy things going on. That's my suggestion.
What's Broadway?
Broadway is dark tonight.
Yeah.
I don't know that one.
Yeah.
That's like a follow-up album after that, I think.
Oh man, I watched VH1. When I was in middle school, I was a VH1 kid instead of an MTV kid.
Well, that's why you ended up called what do we call you? Joopy Drops? The the train. You were like a what's the word I'm looking for, Gary? A roadie for train.
Oh, yeah, Joopy Drops.
Joopy Drops.
Joopy sound. I don't know about Joopy. That sounds like a slur. Yeah. I don't like how slurry it sounds.
Yeah, it's how I feel about the word japes. I feel like japes just.
Nope.
And japes and jabroni, I don't know. Doesn't seem right.
Jabroni, I'm okay with.
Okay.
How about what are your thoughts on Jabronis? Like the Greek god.
It's definitely more Roman, yeah.
Yeah.
Therefore, making it okay because they're a dead civilization.
No one who is Roman could be evil.
That's been proved.
The God Emperor Jabronis pretended to the throne.
No, like Constant pretended to the throne. He's just there so the God Emperor Hulk Hoganus can like overthrow him. I am Facius Maximus, wrestling god of good guys.
Just jobbing.
Is that what that's from? You're pulling a job, jabroni?
Yeah. I think that might be where that's from,
It's just work. You're not into it for the love. And taking a fall.
Sometimes you got a job, you know?
Yeah. I can't think of any other context that expression could be from.
No.
If not jabroni.
Yeah. Do people need to know where Brayton's from?
I don't think so. I don't think these people do. Probably not.
Okay.
We could say it for it becoming a recording.
Yeah. No, Brayton from Teenage Dirtbags in the Pitch.
It's true.
Yep. There we go.
Hi. It's me.
I didn't mean to suck all the air out of the room. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's also worth noting that Brayton's not in the same room, but he could be.
Yeah. I'm 2 rooms over, and apparently Will can hear me twice.
Yeah. We're really doing an act of violence to Will.
He's right in between you guys.
Yeah.
Take this.
At the end of this, I want one of you to run into the other person's room and high five them.
Okay. We could probably do that, yeah.
I'll set some caltrops.
Okay, maybe we won't do that then.
It doesn't help me if you high five in the hallway or if you fall down the stairs and die. I didn't mean to set up an elaborate spy versus spy situation.
Guy versus guy.
What happens when two dudes live in a house together?
Oh, well, you'll never spot that radio I put above your door, and then hit a empty Manila folder
Yeah.
under your
I
carpet.
wish I had played that game more recently so I could make a reference.
I almost
There's a
made
door
it.
playing it, right?
Yeah,
That's a fun
boxing off
ride.
on a spring.
Mhm.
Yeah, all I remember is putting bombs in potted plants.
Yeah, it's about right.
Yeah. Do
Now that,
good.
now that we're live, can I draw attention to your face backpack?
Yes, you may.
So
Right,
Cole
you should
has
explain it, but then Cole has to talk for a little while, so it becomes the big.
All right. So Cole has a backpack that's sitting on a chair, and there's also a sweater that has a tag. And if you look at it at just the right light with just the right eyeball, it looks like a face. Like he's got like some sort of spooky, scary, mad person face hanging out behind him, just judging him and his speak abilities.
It's just my subconscious.
I don't think I have the right kind of eyeball for this. You were talking about it in the green room too, and I also didn't see it then.
Well,
You can't see it now.
Okay, I'm pointing at the mouth now. And there's a nose. Hey there, little buddy. Let me wipe that off there. And then here are the eyes. I could be a great weatherman. But what was it? I've got to talk for a while? What was that?
Oh, well, it doesn't show your image zoomed in unless you're talking.
I highlighted it. I brought it up for
Gotcha.
everybody. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep, face backpack is indeed real. So that's just the constant stalwart companion.
Yeah, it's your roommate.
Yeah. Hey Fred, how's it going? Oh, do you want to get to some questions?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. So Eric asks, are there any games that you're crossing your fingers for to come up via randomization on Abject Suffering? Also, are there any games you want to do for Watch Out for Fireballs, but getting the game doesn't seem feasible?
Brayden?
oh boy. I haven't suggested anything in a while, but maybe I have been thinking about suggesting all of the Bakugan games just so you're forced to play one. There have to be Bakugan games, right?
I guarantee it. Or Beyblades.
Yeah. You could definitely get in some Beyblades.
Which of those is the tops? Because I mean, not the best.
That's
Like the
Beyblade,
tops
yeah.
kid.
Which one's the tops, baby? Beyblades are coming back.
No, but Bakugan's the tops, right? Where it's the
Bakugans are Transformers.
Yeah,
Oh.
Beyblades are the
Tops.
tops.
Okay.
Bakugans are spheres that turn into like uglier spheres. Like they're not. I think they're supposed to turn into robots, but they're not very good.
Shitty robots. Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, I think I should do that. I should submit some Bakugan games with some Beyblades.
I think you should as well.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm kind of excited. Like I would love to like I would love to have this on Abject Suffering because I can't think that it would ever become a WAF, but I really like the mystical ninja game for the N64. That's just weird and goofy enough that it would be good Abject Suffering fodder, and it's interesting enough that I think that we would be like cool to play it and go into it. But you know, nobody's really suggested it yet.
Yeah. What is anything too hard to get for Watch Out for Fireballs?
Not really. No, I mean, except for like an experience kind of thing. Like I can't imagine we would do like Steel Battalion, but I don't know. I don't know how unfeasible Steel Battalion is.
What a weird episode that would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you?
Abject Suffering wise, like I feel like if there's anything we want to do enough, we can kind of bump it because there's a little bit of wiggle room there.
Yeah.
There's not too much that like I really wish has been suggested because we've done a lot of them.
Yeah.
You know, so there probably are some like pretty amazing like that one. I mean, someday we have to do that third-person action adventure Bible game.
The New Testament.
Yeah, at some point we have to do that. I mean, we just had to we had to cool off on Bible a little bit, but the on Bible, the
Yes.
Bibler.
cool off on Bible, Beyblades. But I feel like that for Watch Out for Fireballs too. Like since my moral gray area is if you don't let me buy it, I will take it. I want to buy it, but I don't mind. Like I downloaded a Mind Forever Voyaging because I couldn't buy it. And it's I don't feel bad about that. So it's really hard to think of what we couldn't get a hold of. When you say experiential things, something that I wanted to do an episode on, and it would just require a lot of work, would be like Magic the Gathering, which would require, the hard thing is it would require would be best to do if we were in town, but you just don't have a background on it. I think it occupies that same kind of semi-gaming space that D&D does, that it would be fun to do an episode on, but hard to do if it's not something you have tons of experience with.
Yeah. We talked at one point about doing a split Magic the Gathering video game adaptation and the Pokemon trading card game.
Yeah, which I would be down for that. I would love to talk about that stuff because Magic's fun, and the Pokemon trading card game is great.
No.
Yeah, I really like Pokemon. I like it enough that I talk about it a lot.
Have you played the trading card game, Brayden?
I have. It's so simple that I couldn't get it. I was just why do people like this?
It's really simple. The video game version of it, which I like a lot, gets complicated. You have to unlock a lot of cards. It's just kind of relaxing and low maintenance for a while. And then once you get enough cards, you can start making dumb theme decks. It's really fun.
Okay.
Or I found it fun because it's not hard enough to where you can't do that. It's not super demanding. So you can do stupid shit. I was just all executors, or egg executors. Yeah. And that was real fun, and you can kind of build around these little combos and stuff. But it just kind of works, which is hard to do on a card-based game on a console like that emulates a card set's rules.
Yeah,
that's difficult. The Magic, those 2012 and 2013, those games do it, but they're just very limited. Since they don't have deck building.
They're pretty good. I had a good time with those games, and I felt like I learned more playing those than I did from the 12 years that I played Magic before that,
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I like those games too. I'm generally in favor. Those are fun. I get them when they come out, so I think they're fun.
Yeah.
Card games.
Card games. Yeah, a lot of people want us to do Netrunner too.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah.
I'd be down for Netrunner. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. On to this next one here. Greg asks, the first time I saw you guys, I was surprised to see that both of you have serious beards going on. And Braden, we will sub in the mustache here as well.
Mm-hmm.
Interested to hear more on how long you've each had one and why you decided to do it / keep it. It's been my experience that young men want a beard to look older, and by the time they reach my age, turned 40 yesterday, they go clean-shaven to look young again. Yes, happy birthday,
Happy
Greg.
birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday.
you gotta peach smooch.
Yeah. Peach smooches for free for all. I don't like how men who are portly at all, I don't like how their lips look when they don't have facial hair, including myself. I think it's kind of obscene. I don't like a fat man's gross lips and neck, so I like to cover it up with hair.
All right.
That's me.
So my mustache, I've had a beard mostly because I'm lazy, and also I think I pull off an okay beard. And then every once in a while I get these urges to get rid of it, and primarily I get rid of them. I get the urges right after a large public event or something like that. So my mustache came out. I've had this mustache as a support. This is from my support stepdad Cole mustache from Duckstream, and I haven't gotten rid of it yet. But that was a whole bunch of people on the internet saw what I looked like. Better change.
Didn't you have a coworker who you're in a mustache competition with?
Yeah, which I defeated him. He shaved his mustache several weeks ago, and yeah. He didn't know that we were in competition. I just know he's very competitive. So I was like, I'm going to beat him, but he won't even know about it. It was a great success for me.
I just picture the mustaches themselves, just
yes.
Yeah.
Mustache fights. Yeah, mine's laziness. Also, I like the way it looks, honestly. Changes the shape of your face in a nice way if you keep it well groomed. Yeah, mine started like in college or like even like late high school. Like it just kind of metastasized from long sideburns down and out until I just didn't care. By the time like 2008 rolled around, second year of college, it was like, yeah, fuck it.
Well, when you say it changes the shape of your face, that's a big thing because, like, somebody like myself and you too, like, we have kind of big, round, ovally faces.
Hmm.
And same thing with glasses. Like, I like how I look with glasses because having some horizontal
Yep.
action, like, I think helps the composition of a face.
Hmm.
And I think that's something facial hair
Yeah.
can do for you.
It gives you control over the composition.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
that's why.
I gave up having a big beard. I figured I was done with that. So
Yeah.
I usually keep it pretty trim.
Yeah.
And I don't mind looking old. I
No.
don't like that's never been a thing for me. But I'm also like, not 40 yet. Maybe that'll change. Like in 5 years, I'm like, oh man, I don't want to look old because I trim my beard and I look younger now than I did with my full beard. But I'm not too worried about it. Like I'm as old as I am. Like I got a good 4 or 5 more years left, and nothing's gonna change that. So
Yeah.
the
Mm. Jeez.
um, uh,
Yeah. No, I don't. I've always looked and acted older. I've always hung out with older. Like that doesn't matter. Meh.
older like regulars now.
Yeah, exactly. Oh gosh. Brandon Douglas asks, and I'm going to include Brayton in on this one as well, so we can make this a three-way exchange. Cole, what album would you recommend to Gary that he might dig but wouldn't normally listen to? Gary, what album would you recommend to Cole?
Brandon. Um,
Another Peach Smooch.
yeah, peach smooch for all. Um,
I'll go ahead and start, and this goes for both this goes for both you, Gary, and Braden, just because it's something I like, and I don't,
efficient.
what's that?
It's efficient.
Yeah, and also it's the answer I prepared coming into it.
Okay.
The new Shearwater album is really good. Jet Plane and Oxbow. It's not something, Gary, I think you would normally seek out because it's probably a little bit too bombastic.
It's
In
too
terms of
bombastic.
yeah, like specifically in the vocals, like that vocalist John Myberg, he very much sings in a loud, clear style that I don't normally associate with the things you like to listen to. Like he definitely dominates a song, but
Okay.
I think this album would be a good entry point for you because they do more with electronic instruments, but it still has like enough like rock to it.
I think
Um,
maybe I don't know anything about that band because I associated them with being like more folksy and country than they are. Maybe I just got that from their name.
yeah,
Like,
probably. Yeah,
yeah, like that.
and
I mean,
like
that's not necessarily fair, but I was just for some reason I associated that band with being like, and I think probably because I knew that you liked them a lot, and that's something that you're friendlier toward. So like I just kind of thought that's what they were like.
hmm
But
their
yeah,
earlier
that's
albums
probably wrong.
definitely,
Okay.
but they've gotten more kind of like raucous, recently.
hmm
Yeah.
No. Yeah, that's fair. I don't know what I would recommend to Cole that I think that he wouldn't like. Um, I think that like boy, that's hard to say because I also have like a vague idea of what I think that you like,
Hmm.
but it's also I don't have a wide understanding. Like I
Hmm.
could name like 3 bands I know you really like, three like I probably name like 5 bands I know you really like, but I don't know
Yeah.
what kind of stuff you're like. I'm all right with that. Like I don't know that stuff, you
Yeah.
know. But all
Yeah.
those bands do tend to kind of be like either run on that rock hard rock to folk rock spectrum.
Hmm.
I think that's probably fair to say.
Yeah.
So if you put a gun to my head and said like I had to recommend something to you that I am not totally sure that you would dig, it'd probably be like specific magnetic fields albums or something
Yeah.
where like it's not that far of a jump from that, but there's a little bit of like that kind of songwriting and then it's a little bit more esoteric instrumentation.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like the magnetic fields. So,
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't have a wide enough like understanding to be like that
yeah.
totally makes sense.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Brayden, solve
Okay.
this enigma.
For the two of you, I am going to recommend a Toki Monster album called Midnight Menu.
Pokemonster?
Toki Monster. Yeah. It's this kind of DJ ambient sort of stuff,
Ooh.
but it's got a little A little of the Shibuya-kei feel to it as well, and I think you
Yeah.
might dig it.
This fits it perfectly because I would not have sought this out, but
Mhm.
I imagine I'm going to dig it based on your explanation.
Good. I was looking for another album, but I can't remember the name of it, and I'm having trouble finding it. So obviously, that's not something I can recommend.
Because you can remember it. I can't recommend things I don't know.
Yeah.
That's something my grandma does a lot. She begins every question with, "Did you see?" And then it leads into a Hallmark movie that she has no recollection of what the name was or what it was about.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I've been meaning to talk to you about your grandma, Cole. Oh gosh. Hey Gary, can you turn me down just a little bit?
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Okay. Alex says, tell us in great detail how all of the Duckfeed shows got their titles. Don't forget the the older shows like Dead Idea Valhalla and Don't Tree.
Alex?
And the audio version is just going to sound like you're blowing them all smooches.
That's why I'm doing it, because that works as well. Everybody gets kissed on this club, Cranium. Yeah.
Gary, Dead Idea Valhalla.
That was just a phrase that I came up with because coming up with project ideas and band ideas that never went anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So and talking to friends, probably including Brayton Cameron, of like dead bands and stuff that we would talk about. Like we'd be like, this is a funny concept for a band, and then never do anything with it.
Yeah.
Like there are tons of them. Me and my friend Matt Dotson, who is a very accomplished musician but doesn't know how to play guitar, we're gonna do a Rush cover band called Shreddator, where it was just us trying to guess how the melodies went in relation to the last thing we played. Two guitars only. And just like, and then there's like the you know, so many like different ideas like that, and then just thought of like the idea of a dead idea, and then like where all those go. So I wanted to create a podcast that had space to put things like that.
Yeah,
so
one of
all
my
bands that no longer exist, and then sketches and into one-off ideas and stuff.
one of my favorite ideas that never came out of Valhalla was Agent Carter Blanche.
Yeah, Agent Carter Blanche, the detective with permission to do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Carter Blanche never showed up, but it was like he was going to. Like there were like there's outlines for Carter Blanche, like a Carter Blanche audio play that I've never done anything with.
Yeah.
About a week ago I went back and listened to The Good Waifu. Yeah. There's nothing more to that. I just like that episode, and I didn't know who Nick was at the time, and I figured that you stumbled into a legit embarrassing interview.
Yeah, it's kind of fun now that we know who Nick is. He does a good job of that. Like it's good Nick.
Yeah. Stand Under the Don't Tree and Riddle Me This is a complicated name that arose from Exquisite Corpse Poetry when I was in college, and that just became a very standoffish name for my college radio show because I don't like things that are marketable. And then I immediately turned that into a more marketable name with The Level, which
you stole from Ice-T.
No, Ice-T, his show popped up 2 months after ours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There we go. How about Teenage Dirtbags, The Pitch?
Oh, well, The Pitch was, well, we were pitching stuff back and forth. It was originally called Pitch Meeting, and then we shortened it to just The Pitch.
Well, it's also the spiritual successor to the Dino Pitch.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, which is just the Dino prefix with pitch as a suffix because we were pitching. Yes.
And then Teenage Dirtbags came from us goofing around on the pitch talking about the video for Teenage Dirtbag, and then thinking about how we could just pluralize it and make it about ourselves.
And that's because of the double bucket hat.
Yeah, the double bucket hat, and we were, quite frankly, both dirtbags at one point.
Yeah, the double bucket hat, where it has two functions, it's a dual illusion system, where one of them sends you back in time, and the other function is to be on your head and be a hat.
Yeah, the other one is that it's a bucket hat.
Yeah, double bucket hat.
What else is there?
What else?
Watch Out for Fireballs came from that reference to
The Wizard.
Everybody knows that.
Yep.
Abject suffering is just about how people are jerks.
Yeah, there's no story to that. It's just a word for sadness.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, and I liked its hook to Eastern
Yeah.
philosophy. Yeah.
How about those damn Ross kids? Where'd that come from?
That's just a name. Chris and I really we struggled a lot to figure out what to name that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we ran through a couple of real stinkers before we landed on that. I feel like it captures it pretty well because
It wasn't like the Bumpuses calling you that, like when you were growing up.
That's the idea.
The Bumpuses?
Yeah, the Bumpuses. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it's from Christmas Story. The Bumpuses were the next door neighbors that had dogs.
Okay, I knew about the dogs and I knew about Christmas Story, but I didn't remember their names.
Yes. Yeah. No, just we pictured an older neighbor like shouting as we like get finished like egging their house or something like that.
No, yeah, finished
Rascals.
doing one of the ridiculous things in the news stories that you talk about.
Yep. Yeah. And then Bonfireside Chat was just the idea of doing something relating to bonfires on the radio, and then FDR.
Yep. Is there anything we're missing? Check it out, Comrade is not that me and Nick brainstormed that. We were actually at a Double Fine meetup thing in PAX. That's the origin story of that show, where we were talking about wanting to have like looking at all of this stuff and not specifically Double Fine, but spend the entire time in like the Indiecade thing and just like, boy, it'd be fun to talk about these, but there's not really a space for that in the network. It'd be cool to make something.
Yeah.
And then the name just comes from the communist idea of like they're like the people's games, like they're not they're made by individuals and stuff. So there's a level of that to it.
Yeah, that's part of the tagline, right? Games by the people for the people.
Yep.
Weren't
That
you
makes it sound like we make games, but don't.
Were you also super into the Song of the Vogelboatmen, like at that time too?
Oh, not that time. Like that time being age 18 to 35. Yes.
Yeah. That time.
I'm pretty into March of the Vogelboatman. It is like the most sounding. Like, it's so good.
I like your farty Atari version of it. Like, and why don't hold on? A dead idea, Valhalla. Why don't we make a band called Farty Atari?
Farty Atari is pretty good. Artie and the Farty Ataris?
Yeah, Marty Farty and the Farty Ataris.
Only if it's in the Atari's cover band.
Yeah, we'll play it with Farty Atari sounds.
Yes, I love the idea of making like there being the Ataris and then forming a cover band that's called the Farty Ataris. I mean, fuck you guys.
So are they? So like, are they? Is it just clever or are they really bad?
The Ataris?
No.
The Farty. Oh, yeah, Wayne's World.
Yeah, shitty Beatles, Farty Ataris.
Well, that would be like if the shitty Beatles were there to make fun of the Beatles. So that would be odd.
In my head canon.
Hey, hold on a second. In that movie, we hear the shitty Beatles, right? Does he come in when Crucial Taunt is playing, or is another band opening up?
He comes in when Crucial Taunt is playing because the Jolly Green Giants just get off the stage.
Gotcha. Yeah. For some reason, I thought like, okay, so we don't actually hear our band closing up because I was like, oh man, maybe we'd have heard the shitty Beatles. That'd be weird.
Nope. No. Huh. We do so yes, the shitty Beatles can only exist in your head canon.
Okay.
Yeah.
They sound like the Beats from Doug.
Let's see here. There's a question related to this later on. Zachary Dean asks, where did the name Duckfeed come from and why? It's a podcast network, dummies. It comes from the first episode of Those Damn Ross Kids, where I throw out the idea of a folksy aphorism called, "Oh, I'm just feeding ducks here," like I'm just throwing this out and seeing what people pick up. It was a dumb joke. I like birds a lot and kind of always have, so that seemed to fit well. And then .tv feels more forward-looking than .fm, which was the other option. And also I wanted to leave the option for video content open, an option we have never taken.
And neither of which sounded as forward.com. But
Correct.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Forward-looking isn't the word. I meant like evergreen or standard.
Yeah.
Like that. But I was teasing.
No, so it just if you want your URL to be part of your identity, .com is a real weird one to do. So
So
Yeah. But when we say Duckfeed.tv, people know where to go to find us.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
They-
there a
I mean,
Duckfeed? Is
Would
there a
they not if it was
Duckfeed.com?
.com? Like maybe I'm missing something. Would they not if it was that? I'm not like this is not a backdoor way for me taking you to task for not doing it as .com. Like I honestly don't care that much, but I was just curious what you meant by that.
No, they would. It's just .com feels very outdated in terms of saying like, hey, here's what we are. .com feels like late '90s, early 2000s, as opposed to like .tv, which is just it's a
But
non-standard one.
you would just be like your duck feed. Like you just wouldn't
Yeah.
leave the thing on there. It'd be like how like Polygon doesn't say they're Polygon.com.
Mhm.
They just say they're Polygon. Like then the identity wouldn't be like Duckfeed.tv. It would just be like we're Duckfeed, and then
Mhm.
that would be associated with.
Yeah.
So. But like again, I don't actually care. I'm not taking you to task. I'm just curious as to what you
All right.
meant.
Let's
Yeah.
buy all the Duckfeed related URLs. Let's do
I
this.
have Duckfeed.org.
Well, we need duckfeed.net.com, and we need to form a government organization.
Duckfeed.gov.
I like the idea of Duckfeed.gov.
Yeah. It's just
Vote for Cole in the primaries. Cole versus Gary.
Yeah, people Cole versus Gear.
My opponent is a baby man.
What?
My opponent is a baby man. I don't know. I was just doing some fake anger-y thing of if we were in the primaries against each other in a vote. I don't actually think you're a baby man.
My opponent loves to give peach smooches to everyone. That's a socialist idea.
Yeah.
People in the
Smooches for
Slack
all.
were-
Even my opponent.
No. People in the Slack were saying Duckfeed confirmed communist.
Mhm.
Yep. I mean,
Yep.
whatever.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea to me.
Yeah, compared to the rest of the country. Yeah. Frederick writes in saying, a few years back I found your podcast through Cane and Rinse, so it was a great feeling coming full circle when one of their hosts was a guest on Bonfireside Chat. Could you list some of your favorite podcasts to cover those few off days in your release schedule?
Yeah, it was really nice having Joshua on. I like
Yes.
Joshua a lot, and I like Keen and Rinse. I don't always listen to it. I do like it a lot, though. They do a really good job of like presenting a lot of different angles on something. So they make an effort of like if they're going to cover a game and it's at all like people might have different opinions on it. They get people of all kind of stripes,
Yep.
and they're very good at disagreeing with each other respectfully, which is great. So that is a good place to be, and Joshua's great.
Yeah.
So I don't listen to as many podcasts as I used to, and I've been on a very like information kick podcast as opposed to a comedy kick. So
Yeah.
I haven't listened to Comedy Bang Bang in a long time or related. So I've been listening to You Are Not So Smart, which is really
That's
good.
great. Yeah.
That's a really good show. David McCraney's the best. I listen to that. I listen to Stuff You Should Know when it's not about lumber or something like that, which is a
Those are
recent
my
episode.
favorite ones.
I was like, oh man, new podcast, and I was like, lumber. Oh my god, jeez. Like you couldn't. Did you listen to the lumber one? Is it good?
No, I just love
You just
them.
like boring things.
Yeah.
Those are right.
You're
In
opposite.
a
guys.
literal and a figurative sense.
Yes. Yeah.
Like putting holes into lumber.
Yes. You do love lumber. There are some lumber in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
And then I listen to those two I listen to regularly. I always listen to Lou Reed's whenever it comes out. I love that show.
Yeah.
And I guess that's comedy, but it's more like anthropology. And then there's a tabletop gaming podcast I like called NPC Cast that I listen to every week, and those guys are really good. And that's how I vicariously keep up with that stuff.
Yeah.
Braden, how about you?
I have been listening primarily to audiobooks lately instead of listening to podcasts, but I will tell you about one podcast that I love, even though I hate the format. So I will. It's called Liar City, and the basic premise of Liar City is that a guy and a host, or a guy and a co-host, go through these kind of like famous lies and dissect them and deep dive into them. There was a really good episode about like Lance Armstrong, and there was a really another good one about Scientology. But this is the format, and I need to recruit you both, Gary and Cole. What I'm going to do is ask you a question, and what I need you to do is just say no. Okay?
Okay.
So this is how it works. Hey everybody, welcome back to Liar City. I'm whatever my name is. Today we're going to be talking about Lance Armstrong. Cole, do you remember Lance Armstrong?
No.
Okay, let me tell you all about Lance Armstrong. He was once a cyclist. Gary, you know anything about professional cycling?
No.
Okay, let me tell you all about professional cycling.
That sounds like a nightmare, Brayton. That's the worst.
Okay, so the universe begins.
Yeah, kick those guys off.
No, it's just one guy who has, like, I think it's his wife is the co-host, but she does almost nothing, and he doesn't allow her to do anything. So it should really just be the format of this guy telling you something, except that he wants to talk to someone.
He needs someone to set him up and listen. That's gross. I was listening to there's a comic book podcast I listen to sometimes called House to Astonish, and they have done some crossover episodes. And one of the things they did a crossover with is this other British podcast where the format is a husband who's really into comics just explaining comic stuff to his wife. And you played all these clips, and she sounds so uninterested, and it's excruciating. Like, I'm like, how badly did you get badgered into doing this show?
Yeah.
And he's really, like, humorless and dry. He's just like, yeah, that'd be Magneto's thing. Do you know who Magneto is? And then she's like, yeah, I remember him. He's the bloke in the red, right? Yeah, he's the guy who hates the X-Men. See, when he did this, and, like, it just, like, she just kind of, like, moves him along and like, as frictionless as possible. It's really hard to listen to.
That's tough, and I imagine it's like one of those things where, like, he complained about her not being interested in the things he was interested in, and then she's like, "Fine, I'll do your podcast with you," and hates it.
That's he was just a good thing start.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like somebody agreeing to do something they don't want to do. Just like maybe we could do a podcast, and I could tell you a little bit about this stuff. Oh, sure. And then like he comes home with like $400 worth of audio equipment. And just
Great. It's Tuesday again, huh? We're going to talk about the X-Men's and hey, can we talk about how handsome Gambit is? Can we?
Is he the bloke in the trench coat?
Yeah, he's tossing cards all the time, saying Maroney.
He wears some kind of half head mask off kind of thing. He does.
Yeah, but it's also like a full bodysuit. It is.
Yeah.
We did a pilot for a thing, and boy, do we talk about Gambit's bodysuit a lot because he doesn't have there's no casual Gambit. Like he's always wearing that.
Sometimes he takes off his trench coat.
Yeah, but he's still wearing the bodysuit. Like that's Street Clothes Gambit. It's ridiculous. That's not a picture of Shredder. That's a picture of a wolf boy. That painting is called Sexy Boy, and it was a gift from my ex that I really like.
Yeah.
Keep on my wall despite all the memories.
Well, you know.
All the sexy boys who died in the war. And
I mean, a wharf.
Yeah, he was died on the wharf. Sailors. He's a wharf boy.
The wharf is right below him, so that's why I said that.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
How
about you?
Sexy boy.
He is a sexy boy.
Sexy boy.
I feel like I talk about the Flophouse a lot. That one is a little bit tricky because you have to find a good episode to get into to understand their individual characters and stuff. Like Food Fight, Bullet to the Head, Aloha is a really good like recent one. In terms of like information and comedy kind of stuff, I really like No Such Thing as a Fish. That's a weekly podcast done by the researchers for Quite Interesting. They each bring a fact, and then there are 4 facts that extend from that. So it's just like rapid fire trivia, and then just loose conversation and goofs about stuff. And then kind of the newest show that I've gotten into is actually Idle Weekend, which is a video game show hosted by Danielle Riendo, Bonfireside Chat guest, former co-host on Idle Thumbs, and then also Rob Zachney, who hosts a show that I don't listen to. But it's really good. Like they get ridiculously good reader mail to that. And it's cool that most of the show is taken up like answering and responding to those prompts. Like they turn that into an art.
Cool.
So yeah, so like those 3: Flophouse, No Such Thing as a Fish, and Idle Weekend.
Yeah. I would like to try Idle Weekend at some point. I've been into music lately.
Yep.
So it's been when I'm into music, I listen to less podcasts, and I don't listen to podcasts while exercising. I've been watching Simpsons.
Yeah, I've been watching The Leftovers while I ride my bike. That is an hour of cardio every week, every couple days.
The Leftovers, those are those movies about the people that didn't go up to with the rapture, right?
It's kind of rapture-ish. It's on HBO. It's by the guy who did Lost. I've never seen a single frame of Lost, but
Mm.
the idea is 2% of the population disappears in 2011, and
Just two
then like
percent.
yeah, just 2%, and then the weirdness that happens after that.
You know, that reminds me of something. And Braden, I know you like. I feel like we maybe have kind of danced around this when we've talked before. But since I've been one thing about trying to date around on the internet, I
Hmm.
was having this thought. Like, let's say I get into an accident. Like a bus hits me on the way home. How many people are there out there for whom like they would never get close? Like I would just disappear and there'd be no closure. Like I would just be dead. Like how many like just conversations do I have hanging with people who would never find out that I died if I died?
Hmm.
Isn't that
Hmm.
kind of interesting? Like there's
Sure.
it's there are
One
some.
of the saddest things I've ever heard.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but that's you have to accept like you have to believe in the concept of closure as a thing.
Right.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not saying like I mean just it would be like let's say I was talking to somebody,
Mhm.
and it's somebody like I'm like it's like somebody who I'm chatting with like an internet dating chat thing, or even just like somebody I'm chatting with I don't know that well. They're not good friends, and then they just stopped out of nowhere.
Hmm.
Like, and that's happened to me before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, did
people
that
get
person
ghosted all the
die?
time.
Like, I just don't like I don't know what happened to them, and it's just kind of like a thing, and like there probably are people for whom that is like would be true
Yeah.
for me or for you or for anybody.
Yeah, they
Kind of
very well
interesting,
could
like.
have. They could have died. They could have lost all their fingers. Like anything could have happened.
But with advances in voice dictation, let's be serious.
They could have had their phone stolen. They,
Sure. Or I
had,
mean, like, because usually I just assume like, oh, this person's sick of talking to me,
yeah.
but really it could be anything.
If you really want to protect your ego, you could just assume they're all dead.
That doesn't protect my ego at all.
How does that not protect your ego? It's like, well, clearly they want to talk to me, they just can't because they're on another plane.
If it mattered to them, they would find a way.
Yeah, haven't you ever watched any Japanese technology-based horror film?
Haven't you seen-
All I'm saying is the box of my Ouija board is open.
Yeah, I think I would process that as guilt if I knew that, because of
Because
my
it's your fault.
specifically broken brain that like makes a lot of things my fault that aren't my fault.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Yeah. No, that was really sad for some reason. I don't know.
it's true. Like it's just we are nothing. Like,
Well, no, that makes me think like it's impossible to disappear. Like
Yeah.
in the mid '70s, you could just kill somebody and then just like hop on a train and
Sure.
then you were gone forever.
yeah, that's not really a thing. You can also not just like become a new person. Like I have all this debt. I'm just gonna move to a new country and take a new name. Like, that's not really a thing either.
Yeah.
Like it is impossible to disappear, and it's but you will 100% disappear for some people.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
Done, done, done. Kilo asks, any comic, web, or paper recommendations? Comic recommendations.
I've been reading Paper Girls, and that's actually pretty cool. I think it's on like the 5th issue. I think there's only going to be 8 issues, but it's pretty neat. I think it's who does that one? Gary, you know?
Paper Girls is it's either Brian Bendis or Brian K. Vaughan.
Yeah, I think it's Brian K. Vaughan, but I'm not sure.
I think it's I think that's it too.
I like
K.
Brian K.
Vaughan,
Vaughan.
he's great. Yeah, he's not impeccable, but he's very good.
No. I'll do mine. Junji Ito's Cat Diary is really good.
I have that. I just bought it yesterday, but I haven't read it yet.
Like you'll read it in like a night.
Yeah, it's very very brief. I just haven't had that night.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading that.
Yep, it's really cute.
Oh, if you're looking for a webcomic, there's one called Necropolis, necropoliscomic.tumblr.com, I think is what it is. And that's also really good. It's about a young girl that, let's say, comes upon an enchanted sword and then decides to get vengeance on some people, and it's still going. It's pretty early on, but it's very interesting and really beautifully drawn.
Nice.
Cool.
My webcomic recommendation will always be Nedroid.
Yeah, I'm like with webcomics, I'm way more on the Android tip than like the serialized thing. I haven't gotten into a serialized webcomic ever. Like it doesn't work for me as a format. Like I'm interested. I think you've talked to me about Necropolis, or Will has. It's everything about it sounds interesting, but I don't want to read it in such small doses daily. Like that doesn't fit into my lifestyle to like check a webcomic every day.
Yeah.
It only comes out once a week.
It doesn't fit into my lifestyle. Like it just isn't like I go to like a site to check it like that.
Yeah.
It's how like podcasts just don't occur to some people.
Mm-hmm.
Like just like checking a website with that kind of regularity doesn't occur to me. Even with like Nedroid or with like Perry Bible Fellowship or webcomics I like, it's like when it occurs to me, I read the last several.
Yeah.
You know, and I guess I could do that with a serialized story too, but a serialized story is trying to like hook you in, you know.
Yeah.
That's what
I'm
makes
not
me
trying to like
like,
badmouth it. It just, you know, it's never been a thing for me.
I get sad that like RSS readers are just not a thing anymore.
Yeah. That would be I read the first 2 volumes of Rat Queens. Rat Queens is really fun. It is like in a D&D, explicitly D&D based world with 4 ladies, and it's not super like it's pretty funny. It's not hilarious or anything. There's a lot of like just kind of swearing, but it's a lot of subverting fantasy tropes, and but the actual story itself is pretty good, and there are some heartfelt moments in it. It's pretty fun. It's light.
Rat Queens, you said?
Yeah. That is where when I've been posting all the panels that are like "Shut the fuck up, Gary," or like +5 on your attacks to people named Gary. Those are all from that. So, which I didn't know going into it. I was just happy to find panels with, you know, sexy ladies screaming at me to shut the fuck up with swords. So, into that.
As opposed to sex criminals, where I sent you that picture of sexual Gary.
Yeah, sexual Gary is very different, Gary. Like sexual Gary is like the shadow Gary of Shadow Courtneys.
Yeah.
Like there's Shadow Courtney and there's Courtney. There's Gary and there's sexual Gary.
Yeah.
I read the first issue of Sex Criminals, but I haven't checked anything else out about it. I like Matt Fraction a lot, but
yeah, I think Matt Fraction and Chip Zdarsky are both really great. And I like Sex Criminals as just a thing that I'm happy exists, because I follow Chip Zdarsky on Tumblr, and once every 2 weeks the word chum shows up, and that like makes me happy because I want that to be a word again. So, and I always think of the like what is it, childlike humanoid urban muchacho.
Yeah. Yeah. I too had a hard time getting into Sex Criminals and like wanting to keep reading it. Yeah. Like I liked it, but I just didn't have that much fun reading it. I was like, this is clearly good, but I think I'm with you, or like at least I don't know if this is what you're saying, Brayden, but like I think it is something I'm glad exists in the world, but haven't wanted to like pursue it.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I don't follow it every day. I'm reading it when the trades come out, but yeah.
No, I need to just like bite the bullet and order the first trade. Honestly, like it's worth that investment for as much as I like the first issue.
Mm-hmm. First trade's really good.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm also like when I'm more or less like super in favor of Matt Fraction just because him and Kelly Sue DeConnick are like an awesome power couple.
Yeah,
that's great. So like I really am a big fan of that as like an idea too.
Yeah,
like it's like these guys are great, and that's not just like love Matt Fraction but Kelly Sue, fuck it, you know, it's not that. It's just like both of them together, it's awesome. Like I like that much talent in one dyad.
Yeah, they're both incredible in their own way, and then they come together and become even more incredible.
Yeah, like a Voltron.
So. More than the sum of its parts, the Voltron principle.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This can be a real quick one. Zachary writes, how did the network get started / how did you two, Gary and Cole, find each other? Something awful.
Yeah.
And there was kissing involved.
Yeah, yeah. This is, if you know what I mean. The we I feel like we told this story before. I'm not saying that to shame anybody who asked it.
No.
But maybe a FAQ is in order at some point, because that and then the don't tree name and stuff like that. Putting that on the site would probably be a good idea.
Yeah.
But it was something awful podcast workshop thread.
Yep. Yeah. Cool. Emily Bracken writes, when your town becomes infested with spirals, how will you meet your inevitable demise?
Oh geez, suicide as quick as possible.
I don't know. I kind of like the idea of being frozen for all time at the center of the spiral.
I don't know. I can't. Well, that's a risk you take. You say that, but like, who knows if you're gonna become a snail boy or like get sucked into one of those gram balloons or something. Emily, I forgot about that. I put down Peach and then it just ruined everything. So, but Emily Brecken is the and I bring this up every time, is the person who created the smoking gun on the Winter Lanterns are wearing the same thing that the doll.
Yeah.
So those like super high res images that expose that are Emily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So go
Emily's
Emily.
great.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you, Brayden? How would you like to die if your town becomes infested by a spiral?
I don't even know what that means.
I could. Uzumaki would be a weaponized thing to use against you. Like go into how you get spooked out by things and
Yeah.
stuff. Like, it'd be like the worst thing to like Saw style tie you up and make you read.
Yeah. I don't want.
I mean, I won't. I'm not saying I'm going to. I won't.
Is this? Can we? Is this like if my town was
another matter? Huh?
If my town was infected by spindas? Is that similar?
Spinda doctors.
Oh, spinda doctors? Okay, yeah. Well, in that case, yeah, I probably would just die from cramming things into my ears to make the sound stop, right?
It's true. Stop the spinda doctors.
Yeah, the spinda doctors.
Everybody is growing terrible beards.
Yeah.
What's a panda noise? But
oh man, but yes, I would try. I would seek to run to the center. Gary would end it as soon as possible.
Yep.
Yeah. Evan asks, "What is your drink of choice, alcoholic and not?"
Well, right now, if we're gonna play a little "What You Drinking,"
what you drinking?
Blub, 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 blub. I'm drinking some Black Bear blackberry tea. It's black tea as well, so I think it's Black Bear blackberry black tea because that's fun.
Oh, blackberry.
Blam, blam. And then I've been drinking a lot of old granddad bourbon lately, and it's been wonderful. So I recommend some old granddad.
I have not seen Old Granddad. I've been wanting to spend a little bit less on whiskey lately, so I went from Bullet down to Wild Turkey.
Okay.
Yeah, and that is still respectable and smooth enough that it's not like plastic bottle gutter trash.
Or drinking Old Crow.
Yeah. So that's the origin story of Old Crow. Is he once was Old Granddad.
And then he died and became Old Crow.
And someone dropped a tragic.
He came back for vengeance.
Yeah.
Old Crow. You're trying to put eyeliner on, but it gets like in his wrinkles, so it's like.
What's the name of God's lips on children? What?
It's Grandma.
Who's gonna spoil you?
Where's Skank? Where's Skank?
Huh?
Skank over here.
Where am I?
Where's the president?
I can tell
Miss June Carter. She could sing.
I can't tell if you're doing like Jimmy Stewart, like, oh no, I'm telling you, that's a Jum's house. That's a.
We're doing Old Crow. He's a collaboration of all old men from the Crow realm.
He's an amalgamation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Gary, how about you? Bev it up.
Oh, like favorite non-alcoholic beverage is coffee, and then I like all coffees, other than like Folgers Crystals and like gas station coffee. But I drink the stuff I drink at home is Cafe Bustelo, and then because it's not super expensive, but it's also good and it's espresso cut, which I like. And then booze-wise, I like whiskey. I've been nursing this bottle of Ghost Owl for a really long time. That I got for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
It's my next to desk. I just picked that off the floor next to me. That's never far from me if I'm on my computer. It's just like always.
That is self-control right there.
It is, yeah. I don't. I like to get drunk, but I'll start getting sad. And then and I also have a hard time sleeping. If I get drunk now, I fall asleep really well, but then I have to pee 1,000 times and end up cranky and shitty. Even if I'm not hungover, I'm like in a bad mood the next day because I didn't sleep very well. I had to pee 1,000 times, so I don't drink that much. So I'll go with those answers.
Yeah.
Gary, did I tell you the story about gourmet coffee?
The story about what?
Gourmet coffee. I'm pretty sure I've told you, but cool, and the audience probably hasn't heard this story. So I was on a road trip with Kelly Johnson and Ben Grigg, and we went to Florida, and we stopped at like the Florida Visitor Center right across the border, and there are these two women that are standing in front of this vending machine. It's a coffee vending machine at the Florida Visitor Center. So just keep that in mind. And
Okay.
they're like, it's 109,000 degrees outside, and they're like, I just kind of want coffee. And the other one's like, well, when you want coffee, you just have to have coffee. And she's just like, she's looking at him, she's like, yeah, but I mean, it's from a vending machine. Is it any good? And the other one's like, well, it says gourmet on it.
Yeah, like, keep that woman away from fancy ketchup.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry I cut you off, Cole. Please.
No. My current non-alcoholic drink jam, and this is aside from water and coffee.
Is it Kool-Aid Jammer?
The jam.
What? Yes, just jams, marmalades, preserves. Just
Yeah.
give me
Kool-Aid
a phone.
Jammers.
Throw some water in there for easy drinking.
Oh no! I buy myself a 4-pack of this a month, but Bundaberg ginger beer.
Yeah!
Ginger beer is good.
Yeah, I love.
Big reaction out of Brayton.
That's my favorite ginger beer.
Yeah! You the same soda I do.
That's right. You get some vodka and some limes, you're set.
Yeah, I tend not to drink too many sugary beverages, but yeah, if I get myself a treat once a month in the form of that ginger beer, it's really good. And then alcoholic, I'm a big fan of bourbon, but to give a more specific answer, my favorite beer is a Dogfish Head beer called Palo Santo Marron, which is a 14% ale that is aged in this gigantic, like 10,000-gallon cask made out of like this holy tree from South America.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's really good.
That sounds great.
Yeah, it's like $15 for a 4-pack, so that's like a twice a year kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like one of those will get you good and fucked.
Yeah.
And it tastes really good.
I found out about, they do the Bourbon County Goose Island. Comes out once a year in Chicago and the Midwest. You can't find any because people go nuts for it. But like, since I live on the West Coast now, like we just get a shipment and no one cares because no one knows what Goose Island is. So like it just sits around. So I'm really excited for that to arrive in the near future, and then drink a bunch of the beer that I couldn't get when I lived right next to the brewery.
Goose Island.
And there's a later question here. What I'm drinking? I'm drinking a beer from Lagunitas that attracted my eye because it was called Censored.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt for the marketing, I figure, hey, they're gonna censor a beer name. There's got to be something, pretty crazy, right? Like, oh, Lagunitas Pussy Mist or something like that. And no, it's just I went and looked online. It's called the Chronic, spelled Kronik. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
It tastes fine. Like it's not very hoppy. It's got kind of like a nice like chocolate malt kind of flavor to it. It's really good. But
Lagunitas has a beer, and I wish I could remember what it was called, that very much tastes like you're drinking weed beer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that keeps you one step away from pussy weed beer, which is great.
Yeah, this may be it. I'm not really aware of what weed tastes like, but
You've never smelled it?
Oh, I've smelled it. I know what it smells like, but
yeah, same thing.
Okay. This to me does not taste like weed smells like.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I fell for the marketing and I bought a beer called the Chronic. That's all right. It is okay. Let's see here. Sam Bear writes, which Mega Man game is your favorite and why? All of the various spin-offs and stuff are acceptable answers. I'll just be quick about this. 2, nostalgia.
Oh, yeah? I thought you were going to say X, because you said X before as your favorite SNES platformer. Does that mean that 2 is your favorite SNES or NES platformer?
No, I don't need to be consistent.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, no, like X is really up there. Like they are both kind of the masters of their respective platforms in my mind, even though I know that 3 is a really good contender for that on the NES. It's just, yeah, goodwill toward it.
Now, in the past, my opponent has said that Mega Man X was his favorite, and now he's turning around and saying that it's Mega Man 2. Sounds like he's a regular Mega Flopper.
Now listen, you Mega Flopper, I only have one word for you.
Oh, man.
Okay, so if we're going to do favorite Mega Man games, I'm going to say Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Oh, well, the famous Mega Man spin-off.
Featuring an adorable Servbot that you get to fight as.
Does that one let you fight as Mega Man, or is that just Surbot and Tron?
Servbot, Mega Man, and Roll.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that Marvel vs. Capcom 3 lets you play as Zero, right?
Yes.
But nobody likes Zero. I
No.
want everybody to like Zero, but nobody likes Zero.
It's like the Raiden of Mega Man.
Yeah, you may as well
whenever Zero's on the screen, everyone should be asking, where's Zero?
base.
Yeah, I mean, I would Mega Man 2 and Mega Man X are both excellent. I would probably go X. I think X is more impressive, but Mega Man 2 is my first Nintendo game too, and I also love Mega Man 2.
Yeah.
So not to be as divisive or not to be as undivisive as maybe people expected. But, yeah, Mega Man X is a masterpiece. So
yeah,
the game is really, really impressive.
I think 3 was the furthest I ever gotten any Mega Man game, so maybe I would pick that one just for that reason. But
yeah, 3 is fantastic.
Yeah, 3's good.
3's really good. Really good music too. Like people don't like the soundtrack of that one for some reason, but it's actually excellent. So
I'm looking forward. I'm probably going to pick up the Anniversary Collection when it comes to 3DS.
It's I have it on PC. It's good.
Yeah.
It's just like really excellent emulation and really, but it looks really good. Like it's attractive. Yeah.
No, I saw this amazing video. I forget who did it, but it was like a comparison between Mega Man 2 on the Virtual Console versus Mega Man 2 on the Anniversary Collection, and just kind of like the difference in the colors and the difference in the motion. It was like just really good.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thumbs up. I'm looking forward to that. David writes in asking, what is the week leading up to a Souls release like for you guys? Obviously, you have a large time commitment staring you in the face. Do you do anything to prepare?
David? I just try to get all the other game homework stuff done.
Yeah. Clear the decks.
A carbo load. I like to eat a punch bowl full of pasta. And
unadored pasta.
and then suck down one of those honey bears to make sure I have a lot of quick energy for the week.
And then go to the hospital immediately afterwards.
Get taken to the hospital by a couple of hospital bears.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Also, it's a lot of like getting ready for stuff at work, because people at work are very understanding about my random podcast-related disappearances, but that's the hardest one to understand, or the hardest one to convince them of that's important. So,
but it's a video game, guys. I have to go.
It's part of my livelihood. I know you guys want to be my one and only, but you can't be. Yeah. Let's see here. Jared says, I'm sorry if I missed this on one of the shows. I don't think I've heard either of you explicitly say what your favorite game of 2015 was that you have played. It doesn't have to be something that you played for the show.
I know Gary's.
Do you?
Yeah.
Because it switches around a lot. It's Undertale. Yeah. No, like the cool thing about Undertale is the way that you think it's one thing, but then actually thing means opposite of thing. And that's very impressive to me. So any game that can say X but then actually say negative X. And for question answer. I forgot. That's tricky, right? Because like Bloodborne, so that's hard.
I always feel the need to recuse those games from the running because that's stupid.
Like it's like, those are like games that we like, but it's also something more. I might go Beginner's Guide. Really love that game.
Mm-hmm.
Might go Beginner's Guide.
Yeah, Beginner's Guide's definitely stuck with me the longest. I think in terms of the best game, and just kind of like the best closure on something, it would be like Chapter 1 of Metal Gear Solid 5. I really enjoy that game a lot.
Chapter 1 is great. Like I had like ended up liking, like I didn't go on through chapter 2. I just watched all the stuff on YouTube, and I had my complaints about that game. And there are things that I think that like you should complain about.
Yep.
I
No.
don't think there's anything defensible about how quiet's used. I think all that stuff is like, just the worst. And some of the worst examples of stuff that's happening in the meat, like you can't just have like a naked silent lady in a rape cage, like in a base full of men. Like it's not a rape cage, but like just a cage full of like it's just gross. It's disgusting. But like when that game works, like when like individual moments, it was my favorite game I was playing.
For
As
sure.
a whole, it didn't get that spot for me. But individual moments, it was my favorite game I was playing.
Yeah.
Maybe even counting Bloodborne. Like there are like moments where I'm like, this works so well. Why aren't you fucking leaning into this?
Yeah. Like
this is so good.
The loop in that is so tight. Like I just deploying to a new mission, especially in a new region or in a new kind of like biome, new building, new facility type, like it felt so great to clear a base. It felt so great to do like 80% of the things they were asking you to do.
Yeah.
And just like that, I don't know, like it is such a weird thing, and I hesitate to even say we're going to see something like that at that scale anytime soon again.
I wonder, like, I'm really interested to start playing Peace Walker because I wonder what, like, a lot of people who complain about MGS5 complained about the time it takes to get to bases and stuff.
Yep.
And like, I think that probably was a little bit too much. Like, I didn't mind that it was an open world, but also like just watching the helicopter, watching the credits, all that stuff, like every single time got on my nerves.
Yeah.
So I would like just a mission-based version of that. I think would be cool. So I'm hoping that Peace Walker kind of does that for me. If not, though, like I would love to see, like just like a base clear, like clear some bases with that specific control scheme and stealth system and that box of toys.
Yeah. It's a case where I would not like be insulted to see like mission pack DLC.
No, it would be cool, or just somebody just to make a blatant kind of rip off of it, and just like leave the baggage out of it. Like it's so like I don't know. We haven't talked tons about it. Like we've kind of talked around each other about it, but like I felt like the game did a super great job of empowering the play. Like I felt like super good about the power arc in it. Like, I have all these toys, I feel great. And the game didn't know how to like take that away from me without literally taking it away from me.
Yeah.
It's like, now all your guys are dying, and all your things are going down. Now there are skulls who are resistant to all of your cool tricks.
Yeah.
And both of those are such huge mistakes. Like it didn't ruin the game, but it just meant that like I wish that if I would have come away from it never feeling angry, it would have been like my favorite game of last year, and it would have been just excising stuff. Like it didn't need to add anything, and that's impressive, but it's also frustrating.
Yeah. No, and different sensitivities, different values, all those kind of things. For me personally, it was a game that I was just completely engrossed by, like on a purely mechanical level. Yeah. Yeah. Brayden, how about you? I mean,
what's the best game you played?
I didn't play as many video games this last year as I would have liked. But I finally got into Isaac Afterbirth, and that game's fantastic. So I think that's probably my favorite of games that I played in 2015. I'm thinking of other things. I played some other games that I liked, but I think that's the one that I kept going back to the most.
Good answer.
Thanks.
Nice. All right, we have 2 more priority questions, and we can evaluate if we want to go to the other ones here. Actually, let me refresh this page just so I...
Priority questions?
Yeah,
No, I don't.
Patreon shit.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Let's see here. Casey asks, are you guys planning a trip back to Cincinnati? I wasn't hip to the podcast when you were here last. So if so, drinks are on me.
Casey?
That was a Mario smooch.
Whoa!
Breaking it up.
It'd be cool. We've yet to see. So like last fall was amazing because our listener and friend Chris invited us to OGDE, and that was a great excuse to get Gary out here. I don't know. I'm not going to rule anything out at the moment. It's hard to make plans for the fall because that is still kind of shaping up. But
I mean, is that it, or is it just that like we haven't, like if we got invited to that, we'd do it, right?
Oh yeah,
like
for
is
sure.
that we just haven't been invited. I think that's more like it's not so much like we haven't made the plan. It's just like we don't know if we're invited back. If we are, I feel like
because we haven't been invited back yet.
Like if we get invited back, I think we'll do it. We just haven't
Yep.
been invited back yet. I don't know if you were trying to be coy about the fact that we haven't been invited back or not.
No, no, I wasn't like, man, these guys were here. No, it was just more like, yeah, it's still falling into place. I imagine they're still in the planning phase. Like, we didn't know about that until like midsummer.
Yeah, it wasn't that they like were waiting to hear from them. We just haven't,
Yeah.
So like I think we would do it again because it was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always good to host these events where one of us lives.
Mm-hmm.
Just because.
As opposed to the events where one of you gets murdered.
Or both.
It's a locked room mystery murder.
Oh, Inspector Poirot, tell us what happened.
No. No.
No.
No. That's Fro's thing. That's what he likes to say. No.
And then it says his own name. Poirot does not like
No,
this.
it does not. No.
Luke asks, given your status as Duckfeed's resident SJWs,
Uh-oh.
Go on.
I would be interested to hear if there is any objectively offensive game or game moment that you would still love and would white knight for. Can also open it up to any other mediums if something comes to mind.
Are we white knighting for the moment or the game?
Either. I think that it's open up something that we love in spite of the fact that it kind of breaches our stated and some would say harped upon values as
How about
regards.
Metal Gear Solid 5? We just talked about that.
Yeah.
If you snipe with the lady long enough, her love meter gets high enough to where she lets you look at her while she showers seductively.
Yep.
If you get that meter high enough, because that's how relationships work. Because somebody doesn't understand them. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. We have to look at everything as a whole, and I don't know, like there are plenty of horror games where it gets real iffy. Like it's hard for me to like I'll just go to the tried and true example. It's hard for me to straight up recommend Silent Hill 2 to a lot of people, especially if they're sensitive to themes of sexual abuse, because that is subtext bordering on supertext.
Yeah.
Right. For one of the particular characters, and
or find all that shit super scary.
Yeah.
True. That's why we don't recommend it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be an act of violence to Brayton too. So I'm just making my list of like the Brayton crime capsule.
Yeah. I told you about that was my friend Matt was like, oh, come over, we'll play Silent Hill 2. And then, so we went to his basement, and like all the lights were off, and he was playing Silent Hill 2, and it got to the Pyramid Head having sex with the corpse mannequins scene, and I was like, I'm gonna go. I don't want to ever think about this again, and I unfortunately have thought about it a lot.
Yeah. When I played Silent Hill 2 for Duckstream last year, I skipped over that scene. I skipped over the Blue Velvet mannequin assault. Because this doesn't feel appropriate on a stream related to this, so like
or ever maybe
right. But like it's not to say that something can't be challenging in that particular way.
Sure. You
just have to read the audience and the situation, and understand what that choice costs you, and decide if what it gets you is worth it.
Yeah.
And so I still rank that among one of my favorite games of all time, if not my favorite, even though it does deal with that kind of like challenging and like hard to endorse kind of imagery, just as a matter of course for what that is trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no part of it that's gratuitous.
Right.
Like it's to a purpose, and that's the difference.
Yeah.
And the purpose can't be he kept calling women bitches because he didn't like them. That's not to a purpose.
Yeah.
And the purpose isn't like he raped her because we needed to show that he was a bad guy.
Right.
Like that's not good enough. It has to be whether it's to a purpose that is one, you couldn't do it without doing something else. Like something that big, like something as big as sexual assault, like a work being about it is actually better than using it to fill in any caulk and any like holes in something else. Like it's better that Silent Hill deals with that stuff directly. Because it's kind of about it. It's a major theme, and that's
exactly
inherently more respectful.
As opposed to Game of Thrones, which I stopped watching for that very reason. It was just like, hey, we're going to put this in here because for some reason we like it.
It's really weird. Like that's something I like. I like that show. I'm gonna watch it when it comes back. But that stuff sucks. Like it's not like being an SJW, being conscious of this stuff doesn't mean you stop liking things automatically because they have things in them. You
Yeah.
know, like at least for me, like I mean, Braden's saying he like stopped watching it for that, and that's fine. It doesn't like, but it doesn't mean I feel like I'm being a bad person for not making that same choice. And I don't think that Brayton thinks I'm a bad person for not making that same choice.
No.
I recognize that stuff is gross, and I just, I'm like, oh, that part's really gross. This other stuff is the reason why I watch this and like it.
I also have a well-discussed larger sensitivity to sexual violence than most people. So
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I just that phrasing is super weird, and I'm not putting you on blast for choosing those particular words. I want to reiterate our stance on hypocrisy.
Yeah.
Which is, like there are inconsistencies, but I mean, for me personally, I believe the fear of hypocrisy keeps us really small and actually distracts from more nuanced approaches.
Yeah. The person who is like 100% logically sound like isn't being a person. Like people are too complicated for that. And hypocrisy is not the smoking gun that people who argue with you on the internet would like you to believe.
Right.
It is, I don't think.
Yeah. And
now my opponent believes that hypocrisy.
That accent will always be delightful to me.
Well, just wait until you meet them and you get introduced to a little person we like to call Lil Cakey.
Hi. Y'all heard about ham?
Little Kiki on the Ham Council?
No,
Lil Cakey's really into pork products.
Little Cakey, you'll never get on the Ham Council. Not as long as Senator Baconstrom is on.
I just like the idea of Little Kiki trying to break the pink ceiling.
Yeah. The grease ceiling.
Liam McCann, this is the final priority question here as we reach minute number 90. Hi, question for Brayton. What do you use to maintain your facial hair? Any grooming or trimming tips? What wax do you know? What is the best mustache? Any general tips would be appreciated.
Okay, sure. Thank you, Gary, for that. Okay, so you can talk to either myself or Nick. We both do what's called a wet shave, a traditional wet shave, which involves a double-bladed razor and then using pre-shave oils and using a boar brush to put shaving cream on your face.
No badger?
Yeah, a badger or boar.
Okay, all right. I didn't know if you were taking a stand against badger.
No, badgers are cool. I mean, not the honey badger. But anyway, so badger brush or boar brush is good. I use a double-edged razor. Some people use a straight razor, which I think is terrifying. So that's my thoughts on that. I also will shampoo my beard. That's important. I also condition my beard occasionally, but not often.
You don't want to over-condition.
Yeah, exactly. I will occasionally use beard oil. I have a bay lime oil that I think is really great. I don't wax my mustache anymore. I used to use fireman's wax, which I found a very small amount would do way more than I needed it to, and it just kind of left my mustache tackier than I wanted. I found that the oil is actually not bad for getting a general shape. Other than that, I don't use a trimmer. I just have my barber do it because I go about every 5 weeks, and it works out about fine for that. And I just use scissors on my mustache.
Nice.
And a tiny comb.
That you wanted an arcade for two.
That's actually my grandfather's tiny beard comb.
Oh yeah.
That I use, yeah.
I was laughing earlier because Brayton has a huge shelf in our bathroom that has very funnily named products.
Yeah.
And it's all like Man Stick, and there's like one called Dreadnought.
Yeah, Dreadnought is the beard, the pre-shave oil I use, and I don't actually like it. I've just been using it for so long. I also really recommend brushing your beard if you have a beard, because that will release oils that soften it up. So,
yeah.
Brush that fucker up.
Serves the same purpose as brushing your hair.
Yeah. So I use a
Nice.
boar brush on that, like a thick military-style boar brush.
Yeah. No, my dad taught me that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Listen to Cole's dad.
Lessons from Kyle Ross.
Hmm.
Yeah. So we're just about at time. I would feel hesitant if we didn't hit one of the non-priority questions.
Well, do you want to lightning round them?
Yes.
Like, how many do we have?
We have 4.
Okay, yeah, we can do 4. Let's do a lightning round.
Okay. All right. So Alex writes in, what city and/or region is Braden from?
I'm from Chicago, or around Chicago. The suburbs of Chicago.
Yes, near where Gary came up, right?
That's true. Gary and I met in the same town where he grew up. We met in his town when I went to college there.
Nice. You know, easy enough. Yossarian Strange writes, question for Gary. I enjoyed early Frost Warning. Any plans for making another game? Also, how did you find Adventure Game Studio?
Adventure Game Studio is super hard to use. I don't necessarily like it. It's just basic enough for me to use, which is why I did, because I don't know how to program games. Thank you, though. And I've thought about doing, because the engine is still there, so I could replace, if I want to do something with the same kind of style, with like the heavily altered photos and everything, I could do it. So I thought about adapting other stories to it. If I end up making an actual other game, other than I have some Twine games I'm going to do for the Kickstarter still, then I would love to, like, part of me still wants to do the idea I keep having and keep talking about, where I want to do like an indie game that has like JRPG elements, but it's about being in a band, where composition and set list construction and stuff are the mechanic. I think that would be a really cool experience. I have like a lot of memories, specifically of like my mid-20s, and could write a compelling story about that era. If I could find a way to translate what it feels like to do those things into a mechanic.
Nice.
So I'd love to do that, but I think I would need to team up with somebody. That would be like a thing. Like, it would require money and people who aren't me to help program it and do art and music. Probably not music. That's like
Yeah,
I do the story, the art, the music, the concept.
Just an idea guy, don't worry.
Produce by proxy.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I would want part of me wants that. Like I wouldn't do it because I don't sing very well, but I would want to write the songs for it, but have the music in it be all diegetic and have vocals. So I think that would be really cool. I don't know how that would work, but I think that would be really cool. Like, come up with a thing where you can choose different lines, like you can compose the lyrics of a song and have them make sense but have different meanings depending on how you choose what order. You know, so you recontextualize lines that came before, and that gives you a mood, and then that mood can have an effect that you're looking for. I don't know. I have like a bunch of ideas for it that I think I haven't seen gamified, and I could see becoming a thing, but I just don't know how to make those into real life. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see here. This one should be pretty quick. Yossarian Strange also asks, hey guys, where do you stand on people taking an acoustic guitar to a party? Also, what is your favorite spiral?
What's our favorite what?
I am against bringing one to a party. I'm against picking one up at a party. Unless you are doing an acoustic jam session, you are a band, and people are saying, hey, do it, man. Like, there are so many extenuating circumstances.
Yeah.
And then favorite spiral, let's say Spirographs.
I'm going to say Spiral the Dragon.
I'm going to say Spyro Gyro. My my one caveat to bringing an acoustic guitar to a party is if you borrow the guitar from the host of the party and you're returning it.
It is still a dicey gambit.
I agree.
Indeed.
Yeah. And then finally, Aegon of Astora.
Hey, Aegon.
Yeah. What is that? Is that a Furby or a Gremlin?
It's
a Mogwai.
It's a Mogwai.
Okay, there.
Some sort of grumpy Mogwai.
Neither.
Actually, everyone loves a pendant.
Everyone does love the pendant. It's the most important item.
Yeah.
But Aegon asks, I'm sorry if this question has been asked, but do you guys currently have any favorite current TV shows?
The only thing I don't watch tons of TV, but the thing that's on again that I'm sad that I can't watch right now is Broad City. So
Yeah.
I'm going to try to find a way to do that. Better Call
City's
Saul is
good.
really good too.
I don't. Those episodes are like 2 weeks behind on Hulu, but I think you could still watch those.
Yeah.
I like Broad City. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is great, I think. Even if you don't like Andy Samberg, which I know a lot of people don't, I still think it's a really good show.
Nice. I'm going to say Silicon Valley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. Have you watched the new Better Call Sauls? Cool.
Are there new Better Call Sauls?
Yeah, second season started like 2 weeks ago.
Oh shit! No, I've got to do that now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I had no idea.
It's good.
Cool. Yeah, I'm just gonna buy that season then.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thanks everybody.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
And thanks for letting me come in here and blabber on.
No, it's been a treat, Braden.
Oh shucks.
And we may be there may be more in our future here.
Mm-hmm.
Should we do the Gary Brayton high five? Gary, you want me to come in there?
No, I'll come to you.
Okay.
Don't go in my room.
Knock first. Knock first.
So while that's happening, I will say thanks everybody who is backed us on Patreon to ask priority questions. And also, there we go. We've got Peach in the foreground. And also, thanks everybody who participated, watched. We had the Slack channel. They were we shared a couple comments from them. We'll be back next month. We are committed to doing more of these if we at all possibly can. And then just in general, the newest thing that we have is what?
Gary came in and was like, "What if I came in and you were sleeping?" Like, dun, dun, dun. I was asleep the whole time.
Now that I'm here, I can show off my T-shirt.
I'm so
original.
Yeah.
Oh, that matches today so well.
Yeah. There it is. Yes.
Oh, is he going back to his room?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Well, I assume. I didn't ask.
but yeah, I think that's all the admin stuff. We'll be back next month with more of this. If you're not a Patreon backer, we consider you. We urge you to consider going to do that. It is a good time, and we just so appreciate all of the support that we've gotten so far and all of the support we've gotten over this past month. Here's Gary checking his hair and moving Peach aside. Yeah,
there's Gary checking his hair.
He's got a fever from middle to fair.
I did a shitload of admin stuff. Is there anything you think I might have missed?
No.
All
I
right.
trust you.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks so much, everybody. We will speak to you soon.
And watch this channel if you're listening to this for stuff that isn't this. Sometime
Yes.
soonish.
Yeah, no, I mean we have the live streams going up, and also on the YouTube channel, I've been putting up a Silent Hill Let's Plays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're trying to make more of it. So fantastic. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.